So hey guys, it's been quite a while since I have recorded something, and I just want to express myself in terms of what's happening in the world, especially in tech, AI, money, and some nuanced thing. All right, and this is completely unscripted. I just want to, go through it because whenever I actually tell you, there will be multiple patterns which will be emerging in my brain, and I can even share that. I'm not sure that if it is going to be insightful because it is coming from a teenager like me. Yeah, I might have worked in automation, I have built SaaS, uh, I have been building some AI animation projects. I'm into Gen AI, so like I've been coding, building for the rest of my life, like probably for last 5 years or something. So that is there, but I will not try to gain authority by that because there are certain things only age can give you. Like when I got into dissolution phase, when I detached with my own ego with multiple substances, right? So there were some things which I even got some insight. I got it from there as well, and based on that completeness, I can you know articulate my thoughts. Okay, AI is coming, right? AI is gonna probably take over most interns and even some subject matter expertise in certain scenario because like how we automate, we actually replicate how a subject matter expert thinks, right? So for example, if we can replicate how a subject matter expert thinks in a certain domain, we can automate that process. How we strategize, how we go through mood boards, how we go through research, what he needs to generate content, what type of, in what way he needs some content. So if we can automate a process, then this is gonna give us very good result. But after a certain point, there will be like it is better than any mid-level interns, right? And of course, it might not be the best. The best might be better than any human, which only AI can do, right? So there is a thing right now, subject matter expertise are in top of AI. Right now, AI in a situation where there is interns. So this is the graph of intelligence and this is the graph of efficiency. So here there is AI. Here there is intern. Here there is AI, and here there is subject matter expert, right? They're of course little more efficient, and they're better, not intelligent in intelligent sense but intelligent in output sense, that it's gonna better result. And AI is there, efficient but less, but not better than subject matter experts, right? If we can reach this AI to this point, and if it is even more efficient, then these guys are gonna this tool to get that insight. And after a certain point, AI is gonna be better because how AI gets trained right now, like most of AI is not getting trained by available data. These are getting trained by synthetic data, and synthetic data are generated using supercomputers, some good GPUs, some even better models, and from this we can have better data, right? So that's some good synthetic copies. And anyway, uh, and if we talk about creativity, creativity is also just an input output shit, right? You go on to, for example, you just saw something. Whatever we do is input output. What Einstein built, what Newton built, Newton saw, like if you believe the story to be true, a apple dropped in his head or something, and he think why didn't the moon actually fell in the earth, and that's how he invented, discovered law of gravity. Invented is a bad term, to be honest. Anyway, like I also don't believe we have invented AI. It was just part of the process. Maybe any species will do that because it is even more efficient. We, of course, we are also efficient. We are probably at top of evolutionary chain, but we kind of can create something even better than us, which is self-learning. We can kind of create a loop. Of course, it might take quite a while, quite a lot of years, but eventually, this is something future is heading. It's beyond human, beyond us, beyond you, beyond me, beyond Earth, because we are nothing. Like if you compare yourself to cosmos, what I mean by nothing, like you are here, hundreds of you in a locality. lakhs in the city, 150 crore in the country, and probably 8.4 billion in the earth. Like there are eight such planets in the solar system revolving around a star. Nearly 400 billion such stars in Milky Way galaxy and 300 billion such galaxies are in known universe, which is again conspired to be a part of a larger multiverse. Where are you? You are nothing, right? So the universe with its ever increasing entropy is tend to collapse, and the human race insignificant, invisible, yet precious and finite. And this 100 years of existence, that might be kind of an immortal shit. I mean, I also love what Brian Johnson is doing, um, but I'm not as health efficient as him. But of course, I want to be. But right now, it's just I'm just in my teens, right? I'm trying to learn a lot of things. I'm trying to earn money. I'm trying to build something which actually helps people. I'm trying to understand reality. So, anyway, my main plan was to talk about AI, future of SaaS or something. So most SaaS is kind of an API call, isn't it? Like ManyChat, for example, take ManyChat. What is ManyChat? ManyChat is in the backend probably connected to Meta AI Graph Keyvel, I mean Graph API. So how it is basically, where's the camera, bro? Acha, okay, there's the camera, right? So how it is essentially working is, for example, if someone comments in your any post, it's gonna get that post and see the see the comment, see the latest comment. Like if someone comments on your profile, you kind of get a notification, you kind of get an alert every time, and it gets that alert, then fetches the comment and then see if the comment matches. And if the comment matches, then it's going to send a DM automation if the person actually follows him, right? So that's how this type of automation works. Sometimes it does well, and it is pretty expensive in certain way, but you can build that, right? So manage I did. Like for me, yeah, I can build that within 2 3 days. For example, competitor analysis. People used to take a lot of time. VidIQ have personal ideology on how to do that. I actually built it I mean, in Saturday, yesterday, in the whole night. So with custom form and everything. So in my opinion, most API calls are gonna be dead anyways, because we can get data from first party verified API instead of relying on third party API services, because they fetch us something, and after that we can have our own logic. And yeah, that is it. And I mean, that's what visual, even Mira Murati said, right? Like, if you talk about even creativity, some people were arguing that graphic designers' job are gonna be, gone. And like after GPT one actually got released, because it was probably the first model which actually implemented auto-regressive image generation model at scale to a lot of users. So because it is mostly auto-regressive, so that's why it can able to understand where the pixels are, and where to put that image object. Even the nano banana is probably also mix of diffusion and autoregressive model. Diffusion model is needed because it's compute efficient, where autoregressive model is, it's pretty compute consuming, to be honest. So even if you see, even GPT image 1 mini, that also takes 40 seconds, but nano banana takes probably 10 15 seconds, right? Yeah, you can say that Google have better hardware architecture, they might have better TPUs, but I mean, diffusion actually makes sense. Like if you see any LLM model to run, if you, like for example, how should I explain? Like probably if you have run some diffusion model, yeah, if you can quantize, you can even run on 4 GB of VRAM. Flux, if it is, you can run Flux on 8 gigs of consumer grade GPU. So there are even some real time image diffusion model, because diffusions are pretty easy, and it's just step by step thing. So it just denoises in step by step from latent space, and it kind of creates an initial image, and based on the prompt it gathers, because it got trained. So whenever you trained a low rank adaptation, uh, it does save that data points. I mean, for example, if your skin, like if there is Adrito, and it can at least understand, like if you give my 10 images, it can understand that this might be a drito, it might have this type of skin or something like that, and it saves in that, and whenever you call that term, then it's connected with that. My clip encoder is connected with the LoRa, so that's why it's getting data from the LoRa. So for example, checkpoint needed to be combined into the model itself. In the LoRa you can attach it to the LoRa. I mean, you can attach model to the LoRa. So LoRa is even more efficient than checkpoints anyway. I don't know why I just say that, but yeah, what I was trying to mean is, this is it. This is everything which you can do or might do or may do uh, in the future, like get into AI or earn some money. But to be honest, money is just a fucking concept. Why you were working? Because of money, right? But if you look at money fundamentally, the concept is flawed. The world is around $200 trillion in debt. $200 trillion in depth. I'm not exactly sure about the number, but it is between 170 to probably 300 or something. 200 is a safe spot because there are many other studies which just figure out, but it is close to that number of money. Even not even printed in the whole fucking world. How, like, if you see fundamentally, the concept of money is flawed. If you like combine everything, it should be zero. It is minus 176 trillion, minus $200 trillion in debt. There will be flaws, na? Like US is kind of printing money, then inflation is going up on the whole world, and then there is a very good concept in crypto. But what the fuck is happening in crypto, that US, United States, kind of created an entire ecosystem of money, so they can buy the crypto, and then the money is not going to be anywhere. People are going to use crypto, and they have crypto market, but crypto is limited, not like some money. But if the purchase crypto through this printed money, they will have much better percentage of cryptocurrencies compared to this, right? So this is it. I mean, people are trying to do something, people are not trying to do something. That's how universe is getting work. And to be honest, in my opinion, capitalism is not even the best solution yet. It's just that, I mean, in theory, we have even some better ideologies, but in reality, we have not implemented it since. That's why I cannot say. And of course, communism is not clearly. Capitalism at least gives you a very good chance. So at least we should be thankful to it in a certain way. But when AI come and artificial intelligence become more intelligent than humans, than most humans, most subject matter expertise. Now it got to a point, not when most humans, not most interns or most people, when it's better than humans, it is more intelligent. So the method it's gonna be using, like what is democracy, for example? Democracy is itself also flawed. Like for example, if a person who have studied how politics work, if you have learned political science in a certain way for 10, 20 years, he will have knowledge what will going to be a better future if he vote a party. And a person who got 50 rupees from the party to vote him, he will vote, the value of these two guy are same. You see, it is flawed, but it is probably the best concept we do have. So if AI come, all creation is flawed, right? So if AI come, it's gonna create even better architecture to leave us as human. It might not, but it might be, and there are very good chances, because if you can align human's goal with AI's goal, which is pretty hard to do. But to be honest, I like Brian Johnson because of one thing he said, that we can say don't die project to AI for humans, because of course AI cannot die. Like you can replicate 200, 500 plus GPUs, then you will have another model. Like for example, GPT-4 probably ran in 280 NVIDIA H100 GPUs. It's probably in 3-4 trillion parameter. But you might say that H100 is 120 gigs of VRAM. Then probably if it is a 1 trillion model, we should be needing how much, 10 GPUs. But it's not entirely it, because in GPU itself is not a very good architecture, to be honest, for AI processing. If you have seen Cerebrus's own AI chip, Wafer Engine 3 probably. I'm not sure about the name, but yeah, WSL, WSC3, Wafer Scale Engine 3 or something, right? So it can run a billion trillion parameter model in a single chip. In a single chip. Yeah, it might be very slow, probably 5-10 token per second or something. But Nvidia needed around how much? Probably 280 GPUs for running GPT-4. So basically, let me also tell you why it is happening. Because if you see, there is one thing, GPU. How GPU works essentially is it for training it is quite good, but for inferencing, the inferencing part actually splits in batches. It's in token, and that token actually travels from here to there. For example, if you have this house and if you have this house, like, and if you need to constantly move objects around it, it's better like if you pack bigger object, so you don't need to spend much resources in the traveling time. So while computing, while training the model, my bad, I shouldn't be using computing. While training the model, the packages are bigger, but while inferencing, like when you type in chat gpt, the compute the that inferencing is split into token. So we are actually spreading this small thing in single car, so it's pretty inefficient in a certain way. So most of energy are just for transferring instead of doing the actual work. Probably 5-10%, not even 5-10% are used for actual doing the process, mostly in compute. So that is not pretty good, to be honest. But uh, on wafer engine scale, it's just that two houses are in a single. I mean, two houses are connected, so there is no traveling cost. And there is also, like, if you have heard Grok, GROQ, Grok is also good because they have their own LPU. Uh, anyway, so GPU are not even the best. GPU are very good at graphic parallel tasking, but for in terms of AI and inferencing, it is probably not be the best. And also, it is might be efficient while training, but while training, I mean GPU, it is little bit better. But and if you know that it has around 4 trillion transistor in a single chip, so I was like, what the fuck, bro? Anyway, what I was telling you that if you combine very good data processing, our AI right now can read a book much faster than any human being, right? And that's how it works. And we are just in a very evolutionary phase, and we don't know where future will be heading out, but because nobody knows, it's future, man. You cannot. And after a certain point, that even Terence McKenna said, right, it's gonna be so weird that we're gonna be talking about how weird it is, and we are talking about how weird it is. I mean, man, that guy predicted 20-30 years ago. I mean, these are goats, okay? Never compare them to anyone. Anyway, uh, yeah, try good psychedelics, get into that ego dissolution phase. You are gonna understand how fragile you are and how better you are, how good you are. You are a human being, and you are trained to thought in this capitalistic worldview, in this uh, societal worldview that you should be doing this and that, and some of us this and this and that. And the problem is that you are not sure what to do. You don't know what to do. You are told by the society to what to do. And like, for example, the thing you actually think is also combination of everything you just saw. Like what I said, you are just also data processing unit. You have five senses, and five senses gather data from multiple places. Same with AI. Have a very good architecture, right? AI not very good architecture. I mean, the architecture is essentially neural network, right? If you see, uh, it replicates how you think, and then you probably have seen those images. Like one point is connected to 5 6, or then it is again connected to 5 6. It's just pattern recognition, how human mind works. and we replicated and we saw that it can able to take decision, it can able to do something, which is pretty good. But it is essentially an extension for now for human, but after a certain point it's gonna be better because we are pretty bad at creating something new. We are just following the societal guide, and which should not be, because humans are not meant for that. Humans are meant for something even bigger, something better. And if you just look at essentially what I actually wanted to say, you I diverted from the topic, was that it is you. You are here. And everything you just saw and everything you think, the pattern you think, even the cough you have, is also a learned thing. It's not something you created or something automatically emerged. Yeah, it might have emerged as a pattern. That because, like for example, if you do a art, if you see two art, then from that two art you might just create something entirely new based on reference of this two art and your other experience. But it is based on this. This is not completely independent of it. You have no free will. Uh, okay, so if I told you that, then I need to clarify what I mean by free will. Uh, what I mean by you have no free will is, how do you define free will? Free will is something you can take able to decision, but that decision is directly influenced by another thing, another what should I say? Uh, People or surrounding. And if you say no, it is kind of a random, then we need to add surrounding plus randomness equal to your decision. Then that randomness is not free. You cannot take that randomness, because if you can take this randomness, it will come under this part. So that randomness is random. It is not free will. Get it? So essentially, logically, you don't have free will. It's just all combination of previous data, and that's how I also define consciousness. Like consciousness is that product of processing information, right? So because we process this amount of information, we have much we are much higher in consciousness level. If you compare, we have self-awareness, and for the sake of self-awareness, and I mean, yeah, probably that's not all what I was going to talk about. I was just going to talk about that AI is also processed on some data, and it have understanding because of that. It is not processed on our senses how we see. But I am telling you right now, if all because of the previous, like because of my childhood, because of my mother gave me that this name Adrito, which people call it Adrita because it is in English spelling, because I, get hit by another cycle when I was probably 3 or 4. Then I got accidents. Then I got into my hostel life, and on hostel life I had so many friends. And if there was some certain part of some changes were there, I will be completely different person, right? So probably might have heard of many word interpretation and butterfly effect. A small changes actually changes the entire outcome. So that is essentially it. I'm also a pattern, recognizing itself as a pattern, and these are all just pattern. And still, like an artist, if you have read that book, it's just you get influenced by many things, and when you get influenced by too many things, but you create something unique, then you can get again inspired from your work which you created, and then it kind of creates an parallel loop, right? But it is all came from nature, and you should try psychedelics, man. You are gonna get very good patterns, very good stories, very good inspirations. So there will be much better things. And of course, I can't explain, like, how can I explain that I have tasted from my eyes, I have seen from my nose, I have heard from my tongue, I have smelled from my ear, right? So I can't explain you that, but it's all just a story you are telling yourself, a controlled hallucination to keep you alive, and whatever you see. Okay, just give me a sec, okay? अभी 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 खा अभी खाएगा चलो अभी थोड़ी देर में 10 मिनट रुक जा मैं रिकॉर्ड कंप्लीट कर लेता हूँ ठीक है लोग भी आ जाते हैं बीच में so these are my friends so what I was telling you that we are all just data processing unit right whatever you see and feel it's all just vibration frequencies and every shit so yeah that's all for it and bye bye peace nothing else. Okay, I think I need to talk about this because whatever I said, you might think it is an absolute truth. It is coming from me, but it is not. I'm not 100% true. You are not 100% true. Nobody in the world is fucking 100% true. It's just how you interpret. Of course, my communication is was little gappy because I'm not very good at explaining and articulating my thoughts. And I'm also not because English is not my first language or even second language, right? So that might be some issue in my end on my communication part, and I might be completely wrong about all the things I just talked about because it's all just one perspective in a sea of billions. So just fucking get your head around on psychedelics, learn some cool shit, be curious, and yeah, bye.